All right, want to get to a tornado warning, Bobby Deskins. You just got word of that situation right now.
Yeah, we have a tornado warning now in northeastern parts of Pasco counties, Hernando and Pasco. And this is that line of thunderstorms that's been tracking southward now, coming south through eastern Hernando and parts of Pasco. So let's get out there right now. I'll show you where we had this rotation. This has been moving pretty quickly, about 20 to 25 miles per hour. And you see where we have the red here and the green. That is where we think we have some rotation, okay? Or you can see it right behind me right here. That is near Ridge Manor and Spring Lake. This is going to be moving off towards the south at about, I'm going to give it about 25 just to kind of lead it a little bit, okay? Down towards Blanton, San Antonio area. So if you're in the Blanton area, St. Joseph, St. Leo, between now and let's say about 15 to 17 minutes, that's where you want to be in your safe place. All right, so we can see pretty decent rotation there. I'm going to go back in time and you'll see it coming up here, dropping southward. See that? It just popped up. Literally just popped up at about 5:08, 5:09. And I'm probably going to end up letting this one go here soon, but that is showing some rotation. Is another way I can look at it here. Yeah, and you can see really good rotation right there in the middle. Guys, if you can take Weather 1 full so they can see what we got here, or just go do an O box. This is where it is now. It's Riverdale. This is I-75. If we've got a camera there, an FDOT camera up there around I-75 and 98 in the Rydell area, that's where the storm is now. It's actually a little south of there. It's going to continue down towards Trilby Road in the Blanton area. This is going to be mainly east of Dixie as it pushes further to the south. That is it right there. You see that pink and purple? That's a ton of wind right there. We're thinking about 73 mile per hour winds. That's gate to gate. But that is what we would consider rotation there. Now, it looks to me, the way that this pops up right here, it's initially rotation. I don't think this will last very long, but that looks like a pretty good little rotation right there. So need to be in the center part of your house. If you have a 2-story house, you don't want to be upstairs, come downstairs, crank the TV up so that you can hear me. I'll give you the all clear, and then get into that house, that part of your house that is your safe spot. Basically put as many walls between you and the outside world, right? You don't want to go to the window and check it out, because even if the tornado doesn't come to where you are, it will throw debris potentially in your direction, and that can come through the window. So that's why we want to stay inside. We do have a ton of lightning with this, right? And you can see that it's going to be a very loud storm. It's been a very loud storm, all of them really today. And you can see it's coming down I-75 right now. That will basically continue that trek off towards the south. Here's what you can do to stay safe. Again, you don't want to be anywhere near a window. Avoid all of the top floors and get into those downstairs rooms. If you're new to Florida, you may know we don't have basements here. So a couple of spots actually do, but most people don't. So get on that bottom floor. Now, back out to the warning again. Again, this is going to go to, I think, about 5:45. Oh, that's a different one here. Let me clean this out here. That cell, it's part of a line that goes all the way down into northwestern Polk County and then all the way down towards the south. And you can see it's drifting southward very fast. Now, the northern part of this line is actually bulging. So we're concerned of the tornado that's right in here, just east of Dixie, okay? This line right here has probably got 55, 60 mile per hour winds coming through Brooksville, okay? And that's momentarily. Within 2 to 3 minutes, you should be able to look out your window and see that coming. That is not the tornado. That's the main threat right now, is this tornado. You can see still the rotation that we're watching. When we look at that, what this is, these colors are, this is moving away from the radar. This is moving towards the radar, okay? And that's how we know there's rotation right there, right? Right on 75. It's right over. It's actually now going to go just to the southeast of 75, down here towards Trilby Road. That's the next area to watch, and that looks like now to be mainly barely to the west of Lacoochee. Okay, so further down, that's in the Blanton area. I want to watch that other part of the line. I don't see any rotation, but I do see some very high winds in there. This is in that Nobleton area. You've got winds of 60 miles per hour, yeah. So that's actually part of, it probably falls under our tornado warning. It doesn't, but if you're anywhere around that area, including Brooksville, just assume you've got 60 mile per hour winds coming through the area. Again, we'll drop this in motion now. You can see a ton of lightning coming through. There is hail in it.
Bobby, I'm told we have an I-75 Spring Lake camera. We can see rain in the camera actually shaking there if we want to pull that up.
That's Spring Lake? Okay, yeah. Let's go to that right now if we can, guys. Okay, we'll just stick with radar. There we go. So, it's, yeah, tough to see here. Traffic's very, very slow. If you don't have to go anywhere now, don't go anywhere. Give it some time. This whole line's going to be pushing through the area over the next hour and a half to 2 hours, and then we'll just let it go after that. Things will actually calm down quite a bit. But the severity here is our tornado warning. Latest scan just came in, and we do have still some really good rotation. It looks like it's weakening a little bit on the backside. That's good news. But you see that pink color there? And then the greens back here, this is indicating a pretty broad area of rotation. And whether or not this is even touching the ground, we don't have at this point any confirmation. Let me check that. Yeah, I have nothing confirming at this particular point that it's actually hit the ground. But this thing sped up really quick, and it doesn't take any time to do that. All right, so I'm going to kind of just manually move this forward and backwards so you can see it's moving almost due south, right there towards Blanton. So if you're in Blanton, and I'd even say up towards St. Joseph area, you would need to be in your safe spot at this particular time. If you live over in Spring Lake, that's where we just showed you I-75. That was really the area. But if you're on 98 north of Spring Lake, you're basically in the clear now, at least from the tornado, right? There's a ton of lightning. You're probably going to see 45, 55 mile per hour winds with the rest of the thunderstorm. But the tornado threat, you can see all of that coming in. But the tornado threat is now to your south and the east. All of these storms need to be respected. We're going to have a ton of power outages by the time this is all said and done. All right, a little further down towards Dade City. Not quite there yet. Let me just flip back over to the radar. You can see the rain is starting to move in here now. Most of the lightning's up here in Ridge Manor and Lacucci. Where you see the darker reds in here, that's where we have the better chance to see some of that hail. And we jumped to the camera before I could show you last time, but we're talking some really decent size hail, 0.9 inches. That's about between about a nickel and almost a quarter. Okay, that can do a little bit of damage. 0.75 and above is when we get severe thunderstorm warnings. Obviously, we're covering that with the tornado warning here, but this will continue to move further off towards the south. All right, back to the tornado. Just got another scan in here. That looks a little bit better to me, but that is still rotation. Still treat that as a tornado. Now south and east of 75. And right towards Trilby Road. Let me get in here a little bit closer if I can see. This is going to be, okay, there we go. Ashley Lane, Lowry Lane, Dowling Lake Road, Spirit Hill Way. Ooh, good lightning. Tipton Road. These are all just minutes away from where this tornado is right now. As a matter of fact, let me just go ahead and draw that for you. Here's where we are now.
Wind speed there, Bobby? How fast are we talking?
Well, wind speed, we don't know. Like typically looking at this, I would say it's probably an EF0, maybe an EF1, but you're talking 80, 90 mile per hour winds at least. Now, the storms themselves, just thunderstorm wise, you can get 60 mile per hour winds in any of that dark red that you see right there. So, and that's straight line winds. That's not tornadic. But remember what we saw in Largo a couple weeks ago, right? Pick that mobile home up. If you are in a mobile home and you are in this area here in Blanton, down to St. Joseph's and Dade City, get to a more sturdy location if you can. You do not want to be in a car, right? Usually if you live in a mobile home park, usually you have a little center there that you can get to. It's a cinder block building. If you have a friend's house nearby that you can get to. St. Joseph's, you have time. Dade City, this is going to be closer, I think, to you than it will be to St. Joseph's, but this is pretty much moving due southward. Maybe it is going to go to St. Joseph's. It's almost barreling in on Blanton right now. Definitely need to be in your safe spot right now. You can almost get a little inflow notch right here, which really argues that we do have a pretty decent rotation right here. Now, the problem with radar determined tornadoes is that it's not somebody saying, hey, this is on the ground, we have damage. This could be up in the clouds spinning around, okay? But even if that is the case, it can drop down at any time. And so radar indicated tornado warnings, that's just kind of how that works. The radar can't see the ground because it's blocked by trees, obviously, all that kind of stuff.
Bobby, you're talking about Blanton Road. We do have we have a traffic camera live for you on I-75 at Blanton. I think they're pulling it up right now. And also, I was checking power outages. There's already a good little bit.
Good, yeah.
With Lakuchi
There's
and
got to be a
whatnot.
ton
There
of
you go.
those. Yeah, absolutely. So that view is improved from the last time. And where was this from? This is 75.
This is Blanton.
In Blanton. Oh yeah, we want to keep an eye on this one. That's going to go downhill. You can almost see it right
There
now.
you
Look
go.
at that. The winds are picking up.
Wow.
That is going to be very, very close. Now, to me, it looks like the core, and you can stay on the camera here, the core of this is, well, guys, really close. It's just to the east of 75, but we're talking, quarter of a mile, if that, east of there.
And it looks like, I think this is the southbound, the cars that are,
Yeah, it's the
Coming at us
northbound
or
lane,
southbound. Well, either way, that's where it is. It's a pretty broad rotation now at this particular point. You can see basically how it's kind of all the way around out there, and we're showing you that camera that's right in this area here on I-75 in the Blanton area. So it's probably right about in here. And so that's right there. So let's keep that camera active as well, because that's going to show us what that's moving through. Bottom line, if you live in Blanton, you need to be in your shelter right now, in the safest part of your house, right? This is part, we talk about hurricane preps, all that stuff. When I go around and talk to all the kids at school, I say, where is your safe spot at home? Where do mom and dad say to go? You always need to know that. Your kids may even know, right? Because they're told to practice that at school. But that's that many walls between you and the outside world as you can. Cupboards are usually pretty good, but you got some things in there that can fall and break. Bathtubs, a lot of times nowadays, they tend to be on the outside of the house, and we don't have the big steel pipes like we used to have that could really help protect us. But still, they're a good solution. If you do something like that, you want to grab pillows and a blanket if you can, and jump in and cover yourself with that. Okay, that will help you. And I know this sounds wild, and we have tornado warnings here, but think about the elderly lady that was in her mobile home that stood up sideways for 20 seconds and just poured everything out on the ground and then flopped it right back down. There's scenarios like that could happen, and that's why we want to warn you and let you know what to do in that particular instance. So here we are with the latest. Let me flip back over here. I want to take another look at it.
if I'm in Spring Lake, am I clear?
Spring Lake is in the clear now. Yes, just barely. But you'll notice it. If you're in Spring Lake, you've noticed the winds come down a little bit. You're in the clear for the tornado. You are not in the clear for lightning, for hail, for winds of 55, almost 60 miles per hour.
That's those straight line winds you were talking about.
Those are the
there.
straight line winds that you get inside the thunderstorms like that. Yes, absolutely. What it looks to me, these two cells came together. Well, I'm going to put this in motion. And we had an outflow boundary. And you can see that. I'm going to go this real slow. So you're going to notice a line come out right here. That's what, see that up top? That's what got into this bottom one, and it caused this rotation to happen right in this area in here. And that's why we have the warning now. So still have that lightning. I said you're in the clear for the tornado, but you're not for those winds of 60 miles per hour. So they've said, yeah, we're going to have that chance for 60 mile per hour winds all through here. So that means Hernando. That means Pasco. Lando Lakes, all under a severe thunderstorm warning now until, what's this warning is going to go to until?
5:45.
Let's see. Let me take a closer look at it. Well, who really cares? It's still 6 o'clock. It's in effect until it comes through. The core of it is obviously where you see most of the lightning and the red. So let me see what this is moving around 20. So let me go ahead and track this for you. This is the leading edge. So this is just the severe thunderstorm warning, okay? So this would be in the area of Ayers around 523, Brook Ridge around 542. We're sitting at about 527 right now. Lando Lake's about 558. And I would imagine all this is going to make it all the way through to the coast too. This would include Hudson. So Timber Pines around 605. That's not very far there from the Hudson as far as time goes. Okay, so that's the severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get back down here into our tornado warning. Let's take a look at that. Remember, we're looking at the Blanton area. It does look like it's weakened a little bit. That's good news. If we can get that camera too back out there, I'd love to see what that looks like right now.
75 in Blanton area there.
Yeah, that I-75 camera, because it does to me. I mean, that's a ton of wind, but it looks like the structure is not quite as what it was before.
Looks like the wind has died down a bit there too, Bobby.
Yeah,
because
it
that lens
does.
was definitely shaking a bit earlier. And a good reminder, if you've got some loved ones out there on the road or leaving work or whatever, because this is rush hour. So, as we know, people seem to have trouble driving when the weather's just fine. So with these conditions,
Don't want to be out there right now. Yeah, we just missed.
Oh, look at that lightning.
We've got a ton of wind out here in the Dixie area, and I mean a ton of wind. 55, 65, 70 mile per hour winds. I actually just measured almost 80 mile per hour winds, and that's going to be west of 75 in the Dixie area right there. You see that these brighter colors? That is a lot of high winds. So if you're in, let's get down here a little bit closer, the Bellamy Brothers Boulevard goes all the way north to south there, anywhere up and down there. Culbreth Road, likely already pushed through there. But this is going to drop. Let me back up a little bit here because this is pushing to the south. You see that? And you see it right there. That was extremely high winds. That's a downburst right there. We probably ended. Guys in the newsroom, you probably want to check for damage in Dixie, west of 75 in Pasco County. We're talking just south of Spring Lake. That to me looks like there was a downburst right there with winds almost 80 to 100 mile per hour winds. Now you can see it fell apart pretty quickly, which is good news, but that's another indication that it's likely the thunderstorm collapsing and a ton of wind coming out of that. We had some large hail in it, and that also tends to bring a lot of wind with it. All right, back out towards our tornado warning. We're again back here in the Blanton area. This, to me, guys, this looks a whole lot better. It does look like it's starting to weaken a little bit. We do have reports of trees down near I-75 in South Hernando, and that's this line right here. Let me zoom back out here. We're talking right in here, all right? There's where the trees are down, and if I back this wind up, you're going to see those bright colors where the tornado went through in southern Hernando, or at least the tornado warned cell. And then that pink is very high winds, and then things are starting to weaken. Still has some rotation. This still looks like it's rotating. It's smaller, but this is right there near St. Leo.
And Bobby, as you backtrack, as you started this at roughly 5:08 or so, as we were talking about this situation, you were talking about the size of the hail, the winds at the peak of this. How big is this hail that you were mentioning?
So what we were measuring was close to marble-sized hail, but then we actually saw a bunch that was anywhere from the size of a nickel to almost a quarter. And that can cause some damage to your cars, that type of thing. So if you're in southern Pasco, western Pasco, even western Hernando, that's something you may be able to avoid. This is tracking the potential tornado still. The rotation is not as broad as it was, but that's almost not a good thing because I still see a small rotation. Hopefully it's weakening and thinning out a little bit, but let's plan on St. Leo University at 5:38. That's 8 minutes from now. All right, St. Leo, obviously the same time. Pasadena Shores around 5:41, and then over towards Academy at the farm right around 5:45. Now, State Road 52. If you live along State Road 52, you say basically in the Hinton Heights area here, that is where the Clinton Heights area, I think, here's our rotation. It's coming due south. It's going to be towards Lake Pasadena Heights. All right, right in that area here. Let me zoom that out just a little bit so you can see that. Right in this area here is where I need you to be in your shelter. There's a couple different ways I can look at that. Yeah, I still see the rotation sitting right in here. It does look weaker. That's the good news, but that's showing still some really good rotation. Lightning, obviously a ton of it here, and you can see this bowing segment. When you see these segments start to bow out like this, that's an indication of higher winds, right? And then Frank, what you were pointing to is straight line winds. So the wind's coming down out of the storm, it's hitting the ground and it's spreading out like this. It's coming down, it's spreading out like this. It's coming down, it's spreading out like that, okay? That can be 55, 65 mile per hour wind, especially after we saw this cell that has the rotation in it just collapse and winds even higher than that. The rest of this, to me, looks like 55 to 60 is a good bet. The National Weather Service has that down for a severe thunderstorm warning because of the fact that it's upwards of 60-mile-per-hour winds. Okay, still have the tornado warning until 5:45. We got another 13 minutes of that. Just got another scan, so let's get in here on that and see. Oh man, look at these winds that are out here. So here we go. Here's south of Blanton. Blanton, by the way, all clear from the tornado. All right, Dixie, all clear from the tornado. Guys, this is a ton of wind. That is damaging wind. We will get a ton of damage right now from that 45. That's not, yeah, that's more like it.
Bobby, I can tell you, just looking at the power map, really from the villages all the way down.
Yeah.
A lot of power outages. I do want to tell people, you know, if you're watching right now at home on your TV, you can also make sure you have us on your phone. 10tampabay.com. There's a link where we're streaming right there, and also on 10 Tampa Bay Plus as well. So
great thing to do. Like when you go into your safe spot, take your phone with you, and you can
Mm-hmm.
watch the coverage. You can hear everything right there on your phone, as long as you have power. And of course, even if you lose power, as long as you got internet, you're good.
Do I need to go into my safe space when there's these straight line winds?
No, I mean, you don't have to, but you got to remember, these can push a tree down, right? This can put debris through the window. And you also, when you have your safe spot, one of the considerations that you think about is what is outside the home. I have a few trees on the back of my house. I don't want my family near the back of the house when we have big storms, right? So our safe spot's kind of near the front a little bit more. That's another consideration. In this particular instance, with these winds that you're seeing right here, that's something I would be thinking about.
That's 75 south of Blanton Road. Our producer's telling us you can definitely see the impacts of the wind right there as you watch, you know, those droplets move across the lens. That's a small indication. You clearly have a closer look with the radar, but that's the situation that drivers are dealing with at this hour.
Yeah, and there's so
you can see
much
it
rain.
pushing through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really in the situation where you're going to see a tornado.
No.
It's most likely what we call rain wrapped. And I don't think it started out that way, because I think it started right on the leading edge. Somebody may have a great picture of it. But now we've got so much rain in front of it that it looks like it's going to be really tough to see. So severe thunderstorm warning includes all these areas out to here. You see that? Newport Richey's not in it, but we'll see. Starkey Ranch, Greenfield, Land O'Lakes, Wesley Chapel, Zephyr Hills, obviously Dade City getting the heavy rainfall right now. And then you can see as you get up towards Lacucci, things are actually getting a little bit better. And then up towards Croom, get out into Sumter County, and things are improving. Brooksville, severe thunderstorm warning for you right now. To me, this is a hail maker more than anything else. The hail hasn't been terrible, but that's about pea to almost marble size hail right there. I think you'll be okay as far as your cars are concerned, but again, a ton of lightning in that one as well. Back to our tornado warning. Still down here, getting closer to State Road 52. Let me clean this up so you can see. Right now, that looks a whole lot better to me. So we may have sorry.
Where are you looking? I'm sorry. I'm
Right in
there.
here.
Okay.
Right in here, and then see what's left over. Let me back out and you'll see. You can clearly see it there. And then there was something here. Now let's watch that. And it's falling apart.
It's in between 75 and 301 in that St. Joe area.
Yeah, yeah. So we had a severe thunderstorm warning out in the parts of northwestern Polk County. It looks like they have allowed that to cancel at this particular time. So let me get you out to the whole area and just talk warnings at this point. Tornado warning here near Dade City, mainly to the west. Flood warning here in the Plant City area, which is here and southward. And then severe thunderstorm warning for all of this area here. Okay.
Into Hillsborough County too.
Into parts of Hillsborough County as well. It's almost basically to the Thonotosassa area. Just about, probably, yeah, it's basically in there.
Bobby, we have I-75 near State Road 52. This is a very busy area for people who live up in Pasco County. So you can see some of the conditions right there, just off 75.
Yeah, and that actually looks a little bit better now. Definitely looks a little bit better. But things are obviously going to go downhill for State Road 52 and 54 when you get into central Pasco and areas to the west. And Spring Hill, you're up next. I think a lot of the heaviest will go just to your south. I am feeling a whole lot better about our Warren cell here.
You know, it's a stark contrast to what we started out with nearly 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it really is. And in fact, I got a feeling here that they may want to go ahead and let that warning expire. They've got it for another 8 minutes in this area here, and they haven't issued anything else. And I think we're good now. I think we're looking good. But St. Leo, the Clinton Heights area, that's where the rotation would be if it's there. I don't see much of it right now, but that doesn't mean you're not getting high winds. At least 40, 45, 50 mile per hour winds will be coming through with this. And it's even worse when you get over towards Darby and over west of 75 in the Pasco area. Okay, so have respect for these storms. If you have any friends or family that are working outside, they're in that area, especially as this line gets down to 54. 54 is just the building that has occurred there in the last 5 to 8 years is immense. So there's a lot of new people there, and give them a phone call or a text and let them know that that dark sky they see is bringing a pretty good storm. Severe thunderstorm warnings for all of that area.
Bobby, going back just to the tornado warning that we were talking about, you know, for folks who are in that Blanton area and farther south, are we clear now? Are they clear? Can they come out of their safe space? Or?
Yeah. So there's the warning right there. The whatever's left over is right in here, and I don't even see anything. So St. Joseph, good. Blanton, certainly good at this point, and everybody north of St. Joseph's, okay? St. Leo and Clinton Heights, we're still watching it. I think it's okay, but it looks like, to me, like it's really started to weaken, which is really good news. Whether or not they go ahead and cancel this tornado warning early, it doesn't really matter. I think you can see that right there south of Blanton. What you're looking at is that green and that red together.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the part of the conversation everybody's been waiting for. And Bobby, you and the rest of the weather squad there have been issuing these weather impact alerts for this very reason, right? Around the clock.
Yes, yeah. Well, and this is why we have our weather impact alert, right? Because we knew on Friday that we were going to be getting a lot of moisture. The devil's in the details. These are the details right here. We don't know this. We know we're going to get some heavy rain. And with the gusty winds, there were big time storms. That's when we knew we could see some severe weather. So we have our weather impact alert in effect today through tonight, although the rain will be tapering off tonight, tomorrow, and on Wednesday. And then Thursday, one of the criteria for weather impact alert is anytime we have rainfall 70% coverage or higher, and we're going to be close to that on Thursday, so that's something that we will keep a close eye on. I did want to show you what we have here is called the correlation debris tracker, basically, correlation coefficient. And I don't see a lot that would indicate that we had. See the spin right there? This is going back in time. And it looks like we did have some debris pop up when this first happened. You see this right here? That potentially could be those trees. Remember we had a report of trees down along I-75 in southern Hernando County. That's it right there. This is Hernando County from here to here. Okay, it kind of sticks out a little bit there. That looks like that could be some of the debris. So we may have had this thing touch down briefly and pick up some debris. That was earlier. I'm going to move this out in time. You see how the whiter color goes away here? And then we don't see too much. So that indicates that it did weaken just a little bit. This is live. This is where we are right now. Let me zoom out just a little bit. 540 here. Still have the tornado warning in effect. Let's go over that. Yep, they still have that. And of course, we have our severe thunderstorm warning for covering for most of those areas. Tornado warning, as I mentioned, the area of concern would be down here, almost outside of this warned area right now. And as I showed you before here, we're not seeing a very big threat from that. We'd be looking at something right in here. So Zephyr Hills, keep an eye on it. Technically, I don't even think you are in the warning. You can see it's a little further to your north. But we'll keep a close eye on it. Either way, Wesley Chapel, here it comes. You're out there at the ice rink, getting ready to run in. You need to head in right now because they're going to get some pretty good winds coming out ahead of this. This is one of those storms where we're probably going to get a lot of pictures sent in because it's going to have that mothership look coming at it, that real dark kind of curved shelf cloud coming at it. That's likely what's coming across right now. State Road 41, also towards the northern part of the Veterans up there into Pasco County. And again, Land O'Lakes, you're probably seeing it right now if you look off to the north and the east. That has the high winds in it, and it will be right as it initially gets there. As the rain starts to get there, everything will pick up and give you those winds. Hail, let me show you, this is what's called hail tracks. We had some huge hail, estimated over an inch. Almost an inch and a half earlier today up in the Ridge Manor area. Right now, as far as hail goes, it's sporadic. We don't have as much. And you notice here, I'm going to show you this, put this in motion. It looks like it's starting to weaken a little bit.
You said when we see hail, that's when we see a lot of lightning.
And there we go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look at all these strikes. That is a ton of strikes. In fact, zoom in here just a little bit, try to get a little number for you. You can see this coloring that you see here. That's where we expected it. Okay, and so it is going to continue to move off towards the south here. You can basically see this line of white right here. You can just draw that south right there. So south of Dade City, we'll get more. We also tend to see, when you see a lot of positive strikes here, that's when you tend to get a strengthening system. Now, these are a little bit older. Okay, I can put this into motion and you'll see it, but right now that's where we're looking at for the lightning. So you can see there's still a ton in there. This is the last 10 minutes worth of lightning that you're looking at right there. Cloud tops. One way you can see this is how tall the clouds are, okay? They are coming down. Watch this. I'm going to put this into motion, and you'll see that it was bigger earlier. And what that means is that these storms are weakening. Okay, and we expect that that's the case, but what I'm talking about is folks in Land O'Lakes, in Trinity, in Hudson, and Newport Richey, what's coming at you? Well, it's not going to be quite as bad as what it was. All right, let me go back here one more time. I'll show you this. Let's just go the last 30 minutes, I guess, with this. And you can see how it's thinning out just a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is just regular forecasting, where you see these darker colors, and that's going to include Northwest Polk County. It's going to include a lot of Polk County. Once this line ends, you're going to get probably an hour, maybe even 2 hours worth of light rain where you see these taller ones. So it's going to certainly be a soggy night out there for sure. Okay. Now, right back down here, we're about 5:43 now. We still have our tornado warning in effect. I want to cover you guys out through at least this. The National Weather Service still has us in that. Again, it looks a whole lot better than what it did, but we want to keep an eye on that because that structure could try and come back up. The threat right now would be in this Wesley Chapel area, maybe right in here in Zephyr Hills, but it doesn't look like anything like it did. This is high winds. Okay, Aaron,
Yeah.
Wesley Chapel, State Road 52. This will be down in Land O'Lakes here in just a little bit. Let me back this time out. You can see it dive and see that. So we just went through the Darby area. And that's covered with the severe thunderstorm warning. That's the reason for that. Our tornado warning still somewhere in this area, although the warning is back up in here. The threat is not even there anymore. If you can see, the threats up to the north, or the box here is up to the north. Where we'd be watching is somewhere right in this area here. So they should let that expire here in just about a minute.
Just a few seconds.
Yep, they're going to let it go at 5:45, of course. So good news there. Now let's focus a little bit more on this wind. You can see some of these pinks in here. The gate-to-gate shear is a little bit different, but that's basically 50-mile-per-hour winds that we're looking at there, okay? And probably upwards of 60 to 65 in that area.
You said Wesley Chapel, Land O'Lakes. If I'm in Hillsborough, if I'm in Carrollwood, coming down to Tampa, do I need to be expecting this?
Yes, yes. This is the leading edge of it right now. You can see, let me go out to where we're live. In fact, we're going to have a great view of it. Let's get out here. If you're in Wesley Chapel, in the Lutz area, especially Land O'Lakes, I mean, Wesley Chapel's getting it right now, but Land O'Lakes down to Lutz, it's all coming in that direction. If we go out here to our camera in downtown Tampa, let me pull that one up for you here. We're kind of looking over towards it now. This is what's coming up. It's all of that.
Oh, wow.
And so one thing that I look at is these striations you see up here. Mm-hmm. That's indicating a taller storm right there. And also, this is what you're going to be seeing. This is what the mothership look is going to look like down in here. But that's still a little bit of ways from where that camera was, which is down there and where you see Tampa. So it's filling in.
Well,
now,
we should have 75 at 54. We can pull one of
do
those
it?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Or overpass even.
The Land O'Lakes area, you see how this thing is bulging out right here? The Land O'Lakes area is the one that's going to get the most wind right now. That spot right in there.
Yeah.
And that's basically almost getting over to Starkey Ranch there, which used to be a ranch, which is now not a ranch. It's full of houses. So you want to be very careful there on 41. Again, this is 45 to 60 mile per hour winds. You are under the severe thunderstorm warning.
We got you covered. 75 and 54, Bobby, if we could pull that up for you. There you go. That's the look you're talking about right there.
Yeah, and just about there. It's going to go, that will go downhill.
Of course, that's a very busy area there.
Yeah, yeah. So Wesley Chapel to Land O'Lakes,
Yep.
State Road 56 eventually, of course, down to Pebble Creek. Just the rain starting to get there. We've been talking a lot about that area, but I want to take you now out to eastern Hillsborough County and northwestern parts of Polk County, because that's where we've had this flood advisory for the Plant City area. It's still raining there. This is watch this area right in here. This is where our flood warning is until 6:45. This is a 1-hour loop. And not only is it raining, it is still raining heavily in this area. This is a major flood issue right here, okay? We've seen at least 4 to 5 inches. That's estimating 6 inches near Hopewell, just south of Plant City, out there on State Road 60. That is going to cause incredible amounts of flooding. This has been in about an hour's worth of time. Flash flood guidance here in the Tampa Bay area after the rain that we've seen is about 2 to 4 inches. That's 6 inches in an hour, okay? And it's still raining. And when I put this into motion, there's still this core up here. See that? That still has to come through here. So please, please be careful. If you're in an area there, you need to get out of there if you can, if you know it's starting to flood right now, because I think there's more rain on the way. That does not get too much better into the Lakeland area here, because you've got more rain coming as well. But if you look at the total rainfall so far, we've had a lot out here east of Lakeland, northeast of Lakeland, 2 to 3 inches. But the city itself has been doing okay as far as that goes. This is a live look out at Lakeland right now. And yeah, you're looking out over the lake there, and you can see it's just coming down really, really heavy there. So let's recap some of the warnings here. Oh, and see, now they've just issued this.
What is that?
That is a flash flood warning. So this is a higher level warning. So essentially, rain gauge is indicated 4 to 6 inches. That's what we were showing you that we estimated with the radar. Has fallen so far. The rainfall rate is 1 to 3 inches per hour now over top of that. So flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly in that area, okay? So I want to get you down here into the Plant City area, especially south, down towards Bealsville and Hopewell. Jen's left for the day. That's her neck of the woods out there. But this is the area of concern. This goes all the way down basically to Keysville Road. So if you're out even in the Edison area, ton of rain right now. So here's what the radar looks like. You can see that it's drifting off towards the south. I expect more rain to come through there. I'm going to wrap it up here, but I wanted to give you a bigger picture here. And guys, let you know that when it starts raining heavy in Pasco, it's going to last about 20 minutes, heavy rainfall. Anywhere like that, it's about 20, maybe 30 minutes. After that, it's going to be light to moderate rainfall. We'll be here in the Weather Center. Don't forget to get our streaming app, because obviously, as we go through the news this evening, we're probably still going to be tracking this past 6:30, and so we'll be live on our 10 Plus streaming app. Courtney, Frank.